Let's turn now to Christian Lequesne, who is a professor of political science at Sciences Po. Professor, thank you so much for making time for us today.
My pleasure. Good morning.
Good morning. Please allow me to set the scene for you for yesterday. So we were all working. It's 2 p.m. in the afternoon, Toronto time, and the polls had just closed. And all day, really all week, we have been reporting that Marine Le Pen was going to take the win. The second round of voting, it was going to happen. Everyone in the world seemed to agree. And then our colleague comes on the air and says, he's shocked, looking at his phone, reporting live, said, they've come in third, and it's the far left that's taken, according to exit polls, the most amount of seats. How did that happen, Professor?
Well, I agree. It was a big surprise, and for me, it was a good surprise because we were all convinced that the far right could win. How does it happen? Well, it was a strong mobilization of the mainstream Republican parties, what we call the Republican parties, those who are accepting the rule of parliamentary democracy, but also a mobilization of the civil society not to have this extreme, because it's not in the French tradition to have far-right in power. Last time we had them was during the war, when we had the Vichy regime, collaborating with the Nazis. So this is exactly what the majority of the French citizens didn't want to see again. So the mobilization worked, and you have then the explanation of the result.
Professor Lequesne, let me ask you about what happens next, because there was a common goal to defeat the National Front, or the rally, but now they have to govern. So will the center left, the far left, be able to come together and govern as an alliance?
Well, you're absolutely right. The big challenge now will be which government with which majority, because we have three blocks, and the president just refused the resignation of the prime minister. So it means, and this is perfectly legal. He wants to take time to reflect about the kind of coalition we will have. Probably will be a coalition including center bloc Macronians, as we call them in France, MPs plus left-wing MPs, and the prime minister will have probably to be chosen among the left. The problem, of course, is that between the center and the far left, because the far left is included, you have a lot of differences in which policies to promote, right? So it will not be easy. But it also means that the politics in France will not be done by the executive as much as it was in the past. It will go back to the parliament. So it's a sort of parliamentarization of French politics.
What do you make of Macron's decision, his future? I mean, he could remain as president, but should he?
Well, I think he's going to remain, and he will probably do everything he can to make sure that Madame Le Pen, the far left leader, the far right leader, is not going to win the presidential election of 2027. But he will have also to change a bit his habits, because he's a very vertical decision maker, right? He has not consulted a lot in the last years the parliament, so this is not possible anymore. He will have to take more into consideration what the coalition in the parliament wants. So he will have to change a bit the way he governs. But I think he's perfectly able to adapt.
Okay, let's talk about Marine Le Pen and the reaction we're getting from her party. We know what the Macronians, as you've taught us, are feeling, and we know what the far left is thinking. But for the national rally, in terms of reaction, in terms of Le Pen's leadership, where do they go from here?
Well, Le Pen said, and then number two of the party, Mr. Bardella, who was very active in the campaign too, yesterday during the TV show, that it's just a new start, it's a new departure. So everything will be concentrated in the presidential election of 2027. So they will be very active in the opposition, and they will try to win the presidential election. So it's not the end of the far right in France, not at all. And one of the advantages they have compared to other parties, they have local branches, right? They have city mayors. Now they have more MPs, of course, but they have also people in local politics, who can do the job for the presidential election. So it's a big challenge for the others, and especially for the left, to reorganize a bit more and to have also this local connection, which are absolutely crucial to win an election.
And sir, just before I let you go, very quickly, most of us are quite unfamiliar with this new Popular Front. Who is the key person we should be looking for in that alliance?
Well, I think Mr. Macron will not accept as a prime minister somebody from the far left, because he needs somebody who is consensus oriented. And there are two persons who emerged during the campaign. One is Mr. Olivier Faure, who is the leader of the Socialist Party. He's a social democrat. He's a very reasonable person. And the other person who emerged is Marie Tondelier. She is the leader of the Greens, of the Ecologist Party. And she's also very, very consensus oriented. She is the real architect of the agreement between the three left parties. And of course, those two people could have good chance to become the new prime minister.
Okay, we'll be watching. Professor Christian Lequesne, thank you so much for your time. Thank you so much for the education. Merci beaucoup.
Thank you.